Okay, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving in and unpacking the absolutely crucial checkpoint protocols that keep our global supply chains from completely collapsing. If you've ever wondered what separates a seamless, invisible delivery process from absolute, ground-to-a-halt operational chaos, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down 3 specific documents today: the Delivery Challan, the e-way bill, and the gate entry.
Section 1. The 1 crore disaster.
To really understand why these checkpoints matter, let's look at a massive, catastrophic logistical failure. We aren't just talking about a minor delay here. We're talking about the kind of failure that gives warehouse managers and supply chain directors literal nightmares. Picture this scenario. A vendor ships exactly 1 crore worth of highly critical factory components. The buyer is waiting, the assembly line is prepped and ready to go, but the truck just never arrives. Instead of receiving their goods, the buyer goes into an absolute panic, frantically trying to locate a shipment that seemingly vanished into thin air.
The fallout from this was immense. The company's entire production line shut down for a full week. So, what actually happened to that 1 crore shipment? Well, the truck was seized and impounded by highway police for tax evasion. And the real kicker? It wasn't some grand conspiracy. It happened simply because the vendor forgot to generate a single digital permit before the driver hit the road. One missing protocol, and boom, the entire factory goes dark.
Section 2. The checkpoint protocol defined.
So if we want to avoid a 1 crore disaster like that, let's break down these necessary documents in simple words, starting with absolutely zero jargon. First up is the Delivery Challan. In the simplest terms possible, the Delivery Challan is just the vendor's official packing list. It travels directly inside the cab with the driver, and it details exactly what items and in what quantities are physically loaded inside the back of that truck. Think of it as the raw physical inventory of the trip.
Next up is the e-way bill. Now, this is the one that caused our 1 crore disaster earlier. The e-way bill is a mandatory digital transit permit that you generate on the government portal. This is required to legally transport goods over a certain financial value. It's what proves to the highway police that the movement of goods is 100% legitimate, properly taxed, and absolutely not part of some black market smuggling operation.
Finally, we have the gate entry. This is the strict security log created by the security guard the exact moment the truck rolls up to your factory gates. The crucial point to remember here is that the gate entry acts as the undeniable legal timestamp of arrival. It answers one very simple question for us. Exactly when did this truck physically reach our property?
Section 3. The International Flight Analogy. Now, if you're a bit newer to supply chain management, those 3 terms might still feel a little abstract. So to make this perfectly clear, think about taking an international flight. The Delivery Challan, that's simply the packing list inside your suitcase, so you know exactly what shirts and shoes you brought. The e-way bill, that is your passport and visa. Without it, airport security is going to promptly arrest you and completely ruin your vacation. And the gate entry? That's your official immigration stamp when you land, legally proving the exact day and time you cross the border.
Section 4. A real workplace example.
Okay, let's step out of the airport and see these checkpoints in action during a standard business day. Let's say Ria, who works at XYZ Limited, is managing a delivery of 500 safety helmets. In step 1, the vendor loads the truck, prints the delivery challan showing those 500 helmets, and generates the digital e-way bill on the portal. Then, in step 2, out on the highway, the police pull the truck over. They scan the e-way bill barcode, verify it's legit, and let the driver pass. Finally, in step 3, the truck arrives at XYZ Limited. The gate guard logs the license plate and hands over a time-stamped gate entry receipt at exactly 10:15 a.m. Seamless, trackable, and completely secure.
Section 5. Gate entry versus GRN.
All right, this next part clears up a massive misconception that beginners often have about accepting goods. It is super easy to confuse a truck pulling into a parking lot with a company actually taking legal ownership of a shipment. First, we have the gate entry. This is done by the security guard, and it simply means the truck physically arrived at the gate. The boxes are still closed. But then we have the goods receipt note, or GRN. This is handled by the warehouse manager. A GRN means the manager actually opened those boxes, counted the items, verified the quality, and legally accepted them into the company's inventory. So remember, gate entry is just physical arrival, while GRN is legal acceptance. Huge difference.
Section 6. The auditor's red flag. So, we know how the system is supposed to work in a perfect world.
But let's put on our investigative hats for a second and look at where this system is actively exploited. Because let's be real, wherever there are strict rules and financial penalties, there are people trying to game the system. For an Agile auditor, the ultimate red flag in the supply chain process is a little scam known in the industry as the Backdated Gate Entry. It's this quiet, manual manipulation that can cost companies vast amounts of money if it goes undetected.
Here's exactly how the scam works. If a vendor is 5 days late delivering those critical components, they face massive financial penalties baked right into their contracts. These are known as liquidated damages, or LD. To escape these huge fines, late truck drivers will often bribe corrupt security guards at the factory gate. The guard simply writes a fake on-time arrival date in the manual paper logbook, making it look like the truck wasn't late at all. Sneaky, right?
But auditors have a really sharp eye for this stuff. They expose this fraud by cross-checking those manually written security logs against the undeniable digital trail. They'll pull the government e-way bill tracking data to see exactly where the truck was scanned out on the highway, and they match that up with the factory's own CCTV footage. Think about it. If the manual logbook says the truck arrived on Tuesday, but the e-way bill was scanned 200 miles away on Wednesday, well, you've just caught a backdated gate entry in broad daylight. Let's do a quick recap of what we've uncovered today. The Delivery Challan is your physical packing list. The e-way bill is your non-negotiable digital transit permit. And the gate entry is your absolute legal arrival timestamp. Working together, these 3 checkpoint protocols are literally the only things drawing the line between a tightly secured supply chain and complete operational chaos.
Understanding these documents isn't just about shuffling paperwork. It's about protecting your operations and ultimately your bottom line. Which leaves us with one final urgent question for you to investigate before our next explainer. Is a backdated gate entry hiding a massive fraud in your warehouse right now? Take a close look at those manual logs, and I'll see you next time.